So, Mayne, tough result today against quite an impressive USA side. How much will the players learn and grow from an experience like that?
Yeah, I said to them after the game, as much as it hurts to see 6 goals go past us and look at the scoreboard, there's so much I'm proud of the group for doing in that game in terms of the way we wanted to set up, and having played the US a couple of years ago and seeing what we were then, you know, like, we were braver in where we wanted to try and start a line. We're trying to get out and press them, and you know, like, I think we had a couple of opportunities in there, like proper opportunities, which that's the top of the pile there. Like that's a proper team. So yeah, much respect to US, like very good team, well coached, but at the same time, I'm satisfied with how the players went out and went about their work. But again, that's where quality is really important, not just for this team, but what's coming through our system. And yeah, that's what we're going to try and compete against going forward more often.
And you know, despite the result, how useful was this game and the tour as a whole to sort of see where the team's at?
Yeah, invaluable. Like, we knew this would be an extremely tough tour for multiple reasons. Obviously, having US at the back of a 3-game tour is not the easiest, but I think there's been so much value in testing the players, you know, in this environment, tight games, how quickly we can learn. I still, and again, this isn't sort of sugarcoating or anything like that, but people won't see sort of the growth yet, you know, in this group in 11 days or whatever it is. So I'm pretty satisfied that I've seen what I wanted to see. You know, like in the playing group and the staff, this tour, it's been really valuable, all in all.
And sort of touched on the quality of the USA there. How do we close the gap between the teams like the USA and ourselves?
This is a big question. Reality is, we've got to find and really like work the strengths of this current squad, our widest squad, to squeeze the absolute most out of this group, and belief is a big part of that. Sticking to our plan for the next 2 years is another critical part of that. But again, if we truly want to compete with these teams, it has to be a collective effort in our women's pathway down the country to make sure that we're progressing the players that match international football. And that's my job and our job as staff, to make sure we're sharing, you know, the detail that coaches need in our system to make sure that we're pushing the players in the right direction. That's the only way we'll ever close the gap. But for me, like I've always said, there's a huge amount of potential in our wider squad. This year and the first part of next year is to really test that and assess who are the players that, you know, really truly want to be part of this and going to progress this team to where we need to be in Brazil.
And you know, obviously 3 games against higher ranked opposition, both Mexico and the US obviously higher than the Ferns. Are games against these sorts of teams what we need right now to develop?
Yeah, like, just speaking to Emma Hayes after the game, and it's one of those ones where you do need to go in the pit a little bit to learn the most, and you've got to test yourselves to see, you know, realistically where you're at. I think we've built 3 early tours in this year quite well to get things moving. You can see like the step up that's needed to beat teams of that calibre. So yeah, I'm happy with the games at this point in time. We're going into another very difficult tour against Australia, but again, like, that's exciting in itself. There's a lot of possibilities we can get out of that. I want to make sure I see as many of our widest squad between these 2 tours going into the qualifiers next year. So there'll be new opportunities for different players. And then obviously we can start to refine a bit from next year.
And just lastly, off the back of the tour, what are some of the key things for you that need to be focused on, or for the team that need to be focused on heading into 2027?
Look, the players have a really good understanding of what we're trying to build. They know where they need to progress. The big thing is individual quality leads to the team performances, so we've got to keep pushing that. I think the team's done a really good job of coming in ready to play physically, and you know, I selected the squad largely on that for this one, and I think they've done a great job effort-wise, what they've put out in the physical piece. But ultimately, players go back to club now. Clubs have their own programs, so our players just need to think and figure out where they can get the best of both worlds, you know, and develop their game to come and help. And then, look, if they do that, the opportunities will come. And you look at Lara Wall tonight, came into this tour late call-up. She's performed really well. She's been really bright in and around the group. She comes on for half a game then, and I thought she was outstanding in her debut against USA over in Kansas City. So that's kind of that's some of the things we can celebrate if they do the work, and progress is just what I want to see in between windows and as we go forward.